You're good though, huh?
Yeah,
You know what all those beep beeps are?
people signing on.
If everyone could put their phone or their laptop on mute, we'd appreciate it.
Have ours on?
I'm not sure.
Okay, it's 6 o'clock Pacific time, which is where we are here. This is the Porsche Parade introduction to the Richta competitor app, which is used on the TSD rally at the parade. This will be kind of an overview of that. Please mute yourself if you are not already muted, so there's no background noise. If you have a question you'd like to ask, there should be a chat box you can open and type it in there. We have Rick Larson of Sacramento Valley Region will be monitoring that and interrupting me if we have questions. Again, this is an introduction to the competitor app that you will have to use if you're running the TSD rally at parade.
Have it muted.
The whole idea of this is to not scare you about this, but to familiarize yourself with this app and tell you why we use it, and make your TSD rally experience more enjoyable at parade. Okay, I'll go ahead and get started again. If you can mute yourself, it'll cut down on the background noise, and we'll get started here. First, thanks to Porsche Design for their ongoing sponsorship of the Parade TSD Rally. This is several years in a row they've done that. We really appreciate their support of our event. Thanks to the North Elba Historical Society, they are you will see it on the TSD Rally. They are the break location for the rally, and appreciate their hosting us. Also, special thanks to Bev Gould and Joanne Schneider, who without their help, we wouldn't be able to do this. Also to Rick Larson, who is on our TSD rally team. He is also the parade competition rules chairman. And special thanks or remembrances to Ted and Nancy Olin, who are from Metro region. Years ago, they put on the rally in Lake Placid in 1994, and then competed in many rallies, parades, and those of you that are back there helping and longtime members have probably run some of their events. They've put on over 50 Metro PCA events over the years, and were real supportive of keeping rallying going back in the day. So this rally is kind of dedicated to them, and there'll be, I think, a lot of what, if you were there in 1994, you might see some things that are familiar. I don't think a lot of things have changed in Lake Placid over the years, except maybe the prices. First intro, I am Tom Gould. I'm the PCA National Rally Chair, also the Parade TSD Rally Co-Chair from San Diego region. I've been the Parade Rally Co-Chair. This is actually I think my 9th parade rally I've been involved with as far as organization. I've been to over 30 parades and competed on at least 20 some odd rallies, going way back. Also, Peter Schneider is on this call. I think some of you were talking to him earlier. He is the Parade TSD Rally Co-Chair and will be my replacement as National Rally Chair. Probably after Thursday night, after we do the awards banquet for the TSD Rally. So, welcome, Peter. Rallying is in good hands. Bev Gould and Joanne Schneider are spouses who are the rally team admin, who in the background take care of a lot of the administration stuff it takes to put on a rally this size with this many people. We couldn't do it without them. And again, Rick Larson from Sacramento Valley region, who is the Parade Competition Rules Committee Chair and the longtime parade TSD rally master. I think he's continuously done it since 2014 in Monterey, which is now 13 years in a row. So thank you, Rick, for all your support. Tonight, we're talking about the Richta competitor app that you will have on your phone or tablet to use for the rally. Again, this is just an overview, and we're going to tell you why we use it and how to use it. You're not going to be able to actually try it because you have to have a rally loaded up to do it, but don't worry about that. We'll get to there. So the rally app, the Richta rally app, was developed by Rich Barretto, who's a longtime SCCA rallyist who realized that he could use technology these days that are built into our phones or tablets to automatically score rallies. Back in the day, if you remember, I'm only talking 6 or 7 years ago, even 5 years ago at parade, you go to a parade rally and all the checkpoints were manual checkpoints where you drive up, there'd be people there, it would clock you in, they'd hand you a piece of paper, they'd give you, they would manually write down your time, you'd get a piece of paper with your next time, your out time, and you'd go on down the road and go to the next checkpoint. We would only have 5 or 6 checkpoints on a parade rally because it was the logistics, getting helpers out there and getting them back. You're limited to how many and where you could put them safely was a big challenge. Nowadays with this app, it eliminates it completely because it's all done by GPS. You are logged in automatically at checkpoints and you're started automatically at those checkpoints. We can put 30 or 40 checkpoints out there on a rally without having to have anybody out there in harm's way. It actually makes it safer. And I think it makes it a little more enjoyable for the contestants because the legs, instead of being 30, 40 minutes long, can be just a couple minutes long to 15, 20 minutes long. And you get more feedback more constantly. And it's just a much better experience. Plus, all the timing and scoring is done automatically. Before you'd get to the end, you would hand in your scorecards. If there was 100 cars on the rally and there were 6 or 7 checkpoints, that's 600 or 700 manual calculations we had to do at the end to do scoring, and it would take hours. Now it's all done automatically in real time. And if you are out running the rally when you get back to the Olympic Center or wherever we're doing the Porsche flats, we'll actually have 2 screens up there. You can come in and see. One will show you a live screen of the rally and where the other contestants are on the route. The other screen will show live scoring, so we'll be able to show you where you are currently score-wise on the rally. We can all do it in real time. Okay, Rich Barretto developed 3 related apps for this. This is the little background. One is the Rally Master app. That is what we use as the Rally Masters. We do not have access to that. We're just telling you this is where we put all the checkpoint locations in, the GPS coordinates. It's also where we put all the timing in there as far as how the elapsed time for every leg. We put all the restart times in there. Anything we need on our end to set up the rally time-wise or location-wise, we load it into the Rally Master app. You do not have access to that. It doesn't do you any good. Don't bother downloading it on your phone because it doesn't do you any good. It's also password protected. Unless you have the password, you're not going to get into it anyway. The related app to that, the most directly related one, is called the competitor app. That's the one we're going to talk about. That's the one you're going to download onto your phones or tablet to use during the rally. How that works is you will, when you set up your phone the morning of the rally or your tablet and log in, it downloads all the information for the rally as far as checkpoint locations, GPS spots, and timing into your phone. So as you're out there on the route, anytime you pass one of these GPS locations that's a checkpoint, it will automatically time you in at that precise second and display on your phone that you just arrived at such and such control or checkpoint, and it will give you your timing score at that time. Or if it's a restart, it'll tell you the time you restart, et cetera, et cetera. So it's all live scoring. You don't have to do anything except set it up in the morning and get it to operate. And we'll have helpers there the rally morning, and plus the rally school the day before or the practice rally. We'll have help. We will help you set it up. So don't worry about it. This is just, again, just an overview. This actually works very simply. So don't worry about it. Once you set this up on your phone, basically just leave it on your dash, leave it in your phone holder, and it'll take care of itself. You don't have to be staring at it. It's not going to tell you if you're on course or off course. All it's going to do is check you in when you get to these GPS locations along the route. And it sends that information back to us in real time when we're doing the scoring. Again, you're going to set it up, just put it on the dash. There's no reason for it to distract you. Your job is to stay on, follow the course, follow the speeds, and the scoring and timing will take care of itself. The third app in this sequence is called Scoreboard. It shows scoring by car or score number. It also has a map there that shows the start restart locations along with time check locations. You will get access to that at the end of the rally, so you can actually see all the scores on the rally live on your phone or tablet at the end. We obviously don't give it to you before that because it has a map that shows the route and all that stuff. And you don't need it. You don't want to be distracted by it. Again, don't get distracted by your scores. Just follow the route, follow the speeds, do what we say, and just go out and have a good time. You must have a phone or a device that supports GPS and has a cellular signal. If it doesn't, it's not going to work on the rally. Everybody has that these days. Just make sure you don't decide to grab a tablet that doesn't have GPS on it or something like that. Everybody's got a phone. We rarely have problems with this. Again, the Rally Master app, you can see this photo here, the little drawing on the right there. That's what it shows us. Trying to remember if this is actually the route. But it shows where checkpoints are, checkpoint locations. This little up here, there's a little 2 up there. That's actually a car number that's logged into this rally, or was when we took this screenshot. So we can see where all the checkpoints are, and we can see also cars live moving along the route while the rally is live. And then it automatically like I said, it uploads it to the Rally Master app. We can post scores in pretty much real time and see where everybody is along the route. Okay, the routes, the apps are free to download. They're available for both Android and iOS. Somebody a couple of years ago wanted to know if they're available in the Google Store. I don't think it is. I haven't had anybody ask in the last couple of years, but you really need an Android or a Apple device to make this work. There's no cost to download it. There's 3 apps there. Really, you can download the competitor app and the scoreboard app. I'll show you a little photo in a second of what they are. Do not worry about the Rally Master app. Again, unless you're putting on a rally, you don't need it. It doesn't do any good. Here's what they look like on your phone. This is the iOS version on the left, the Android version's on the right. Those little yellow boxes with the checkpoint locations, checkpoint symbols on them are the apps you're worried about. So you can go to the App Store or I don't know what the other one's called. You go to the store and just type in Richta Rally or something. You can find them pretty easily in the stores and just download them. Again, they're free. And download them, and you're not going to be able to do anything with them until we give you passwords and stuff when we get to parade. If you've used this app in the past, like at last year's rally or any of the rally, make sure you update the app and you're using the most current version of the app. If you're downloading it for the first time, you'll automatically get the current version. But If you haven't used it in a year, it's a good time to open the app or update it through the app store or wherever you would normally update the devices. So after you download the app, again, we're using the iOS versions on the left. Oh, this is all for iOS, I'm sorry. You will get a list of all the rallies that are available to access. You're going to look for the two rallies you're going to worry about at Lake Placid. One is going to be they're both called Porsche Parade 2026. One says practice after it. You can't do anything with them now because you don't have a password, but that's what you will be looking for when you get to Lake Placid. And what you'll do is you'll just click on the rally you want to enter, and it'll load up this screen here, and then you will have to enter the event password, and that is the password we will give you when it's the appropriate time for you to have access to that. Again, you'll have to enter the event password. The next screen that pops up will ask for your car number. Use your Sign Up Genius car number. Don't use your parade entry number because this is all based on time, and all the cars are 1 minute apart, 1, 2 through 160 or whatever we have on the rally. Entering your entrant number doesn't do any good. So use your car number. Create a password for yourself. Don't use something simple. Use your last name or whatever. The only reason to do that is to keep somebody from accidentally using your car number on the rally. It'll happen before somebody, instead of hitting car 61, will accidentally hit 62 and log themselves in. That would keep you from logging in the correct number. So just put your car number in, put your password in, and you're ready to go. This is the Android version of it. Same thing. You'll get a drop-down menu. Choose the rally you want to do. And again, you have to enter the Rally Master password for the event. Again, once you do that, it automatically goes to this screen. Put in your car number, your Sign Up Genius car number, and then create your own password. And then hit save, of course. Real quick, thank you all for signing up for Sign Up Genius. We still have a few more people that need to sign up. Several have signed up today. It helps us if you can do that before you get to parade, because then it helps us logistic-wise. We know where everybody's going to be and when and stuff like that. It's just less we have to deal with when we get to parade. Okay, on both iOS and Android, after you've entered your car number and your password, you're going to get to another screen. The iOS screen's on the left here, the Android screen's on the right. You're going to enter your class. They're slightly laid out different. iOS, you're going to enter your class. You don't need to enter an email address. We already have that information. You don't need it. Enter your driver and navigator's names, and please use first and last name / first and last name. Entering Fred and Wilma doesn't do us any good because we don't know. We want to know first and last names. It helps when it shows up on the scoring app, and the scoring app then filters down to the awards presentation and all that stuff. It's just easier to cross-reference if we have first and last names. Enter a cell phone number. Try to use the cell phone in the car that is not running this app. I'm assuming everybody's going to have 2 phones in the car. You don't want to use the one that is running the app, because if we call you or you try to call us for some reason, it'll stop the app from working in the background. Very important. So we would rather have a phone number if we need to call you for some reason, or you need to call out or anything. Don't have it the one that's running the app. Once you've entered all that information, just hit submit info for the iOS version and hit add for the Android version. And you should be all set and good to go. You get to this screen, next one, again, iOS on the left, Android on the right. The three things you want to check on this. First of all is the rally. There's a thing that says rally clock on there. That is the official time for the rally that everything is going to be based off of. It's just GPS time of day. But you don't need an extra watch in the car. You don't need an extra clock. This is your rally clock for the rally. Make sure that's running. Second thing, right below that, it says GPS accuracy. It'll take a few seconds for it to kind of gear up and start looking for a GPS signal. Once it does that, you're good. It should be between 2 meters and 12 meters. Some phones are more, might get down to 1 meter. Some might never get below 4 meters or 5 meters. Don't worry about that. As long as it's working and getting a GPS signal, the app will work correctly. Once you know that the app is set up correctly, go to settings. On the bottom left on the Apple version, it says settings. On the upper right on the Android version, there's the little 3-dot drop-down menu. And the reason you want to go to that is there's a thing called sound check on both versions. What you want to do is you want to hit sound check. You probably want to change it from tone to voice. It'll give you a choice of whether you just want to hear a tone. And this is every time you go through a checkpoint or anytime the app updates, either a restart or something like that. It'll either make a tone or it'll give a voice reassurance that, okay, you're at checkpoint 3, you were 3 seconds late or something like that. So you want to make sure that is working. The 2 or 3 things that keep it from working is, one, you have your ringer off or your phone volume turned all the way down. The other thing, and this is important, make sure your Bluetooth on your device is turned off. What will happen is you'll get into your car and your Bluetooth is going to try to connect to your car, especially on late cars. Everybody has it set up, so you get in your car and it sets up there. The app will not work through your Bluetooth on your car. It'll just keep it from saying anything. So turn Bluetooth off on the device. Doing those 2 things, it should work. If you have problems at the start or at the practice rally, when you get to Lake Placid, we'll be glad to help you out with that. Once you have done the sound check and it's working, you just do the back button on the iOS version and just close that menu on the Android version. And that means you're set up because you get to this screen, which is the main screen that you will have on your display the whole rally. Once you're to this point, you can just set the phone on the dash, set it in your phone holder. Phone holder is great to have because then you can actually look at it without having to hold it. Do not put your device in the glove box. Do not stick it in your center console. Do not put it under your seat. You want to have a good view, GPS view of the world. It doesn't have to be direct. I mean, again, phone holder on the center console will work fine. Just, you put it in your pocket of your shirt. That's fine. Just don't hide it because it'll prevent the app from working correctly. Again, make sure your Bluetooth is off. That causes more problems than anything else with that, at least as far as sound-wise, because it's trying to connect to your car or other devices you have going on. It just will not work properly. Sometimes what helps also, and we'll go over this again real quick, a reminder, we will have 2 rally schools on Monday. They're both the same school. You can attend either version of it. On Monday afternoon at Parade, we will cover all this again, and we can go over and help you set up your device also, especially by then, you've probably already hopefully run the practice rally, which is just a simple little 5-mile loop around Lake Placid that'll show you how to tell you how to set up your device and make sure it's working correctly. But again, we will be there to help you. Sometimes turning the app off and reopening it will help solve problems, like if it's not recording you when you're going past checkpoints. It probably did. It probably just didn't display it. If you close the app and reopen it, you might have to put your car number in and your password that you made. Again, it'll probably catch up to where it was. It is smart in that way. Do we have any questions yet? I'm just flying through this thing. No?
This is Peter.
Yeah.
I've been trying to answer them in the chat, but the three questions so far is how does cell phone affect this? The cell phone coverage is immaterial. Cell phone coverage only affects it when it uploads your score to us. The app works off of GPS and it'll work flawlessly. You don't have to have cell phone coverage unless we want to report the score back to us. It should not be a problem, especially since as you get back into town, cell phone coverage will pick up and it'll upload your score to us. The other question was somebody had a question about they were on some rally. It looks like it was in Georgia, where the app did not pick up a control for them, which could be a transmission issue or receiving it from the GPS. What we'll do is the way this rally is set up, we have restarts and then we'll have a series of controls between 4 or 8 controls before the next restart. If, let's say, the third control in that series, you get a miss, we will see that. It'll show up to us as a score of 120, or actually it'll show up as an X when we download it, and we can adjust that score by giving you the average between the control 2 and control 4. So if you miss 3, because the way I set
Go ahead.
the way I set the rally up is the controls aren't that far apart. So you're not gonna get a 3 on one control and then a mile later get 120 seconds off. So we'll be able to see that, or we'll actually call you and talk to you about that. The other thing that could happen is the first control of a section at a restart, you could, for some reason, not get your restart car number assigned. We can correct that also. We ask you in the rally that when you do your restarts, let's say you leave at 10:44, just write down 10:44 on your piece of paper so we can confirm if you had a problem with the restart, we can correct that in scoring. So the other one was miscontrolled the cell phone coverage. And I think the last one, is there a second phone in the car that can be used? Actually, no, because we have 170 cars signed up and the Richta app will work perfectly until it gets to 200. So the Richta app itself has a limitation of 200 cars. So you can't have a car 7 and car 107 because 107 is actually used by somebody else. So you can't have 2 phones going with different car numbers in your car, and you can't have 2 phones running with the same car number because then Richta doesn't know which one is which, and it has a heart attack. It just says, "Hey, I'm not going to score car 7 because there's 2 of them."
Yeah. Don't run 2 devices. A good practice for good rally practice, the navigator should, especially if we tell you where the checkpoints are, if you cross a checkpoint location and the app doesn't do anything, look at the clock, write down what time it is on your route instructions. At least you'll be within a second or 2, because we can use that later to help fix your score. The competitor app will be timing at least 3,000, maybe 4,000 timing points during the day. Actually, I'm sorry, it's going to be closer to 6,000. My guess, it will get 99.9% of them accurately, but there will be a handful of things that just won't work because that's the nature of technology. So if you have any issues, just make yourself notes along the route, and the navigator can do this. Just look at the clock, say, oh, it's 10:03 and 20 seconds, and it should have gone off a couple seconds ago. Just write that amount, just write that time down, move on with the rally, and we will deal with it at the end. Don't stress out about it, okay?
The other question is we referenced the practice rally a couple of times. What we did was in the center of Lake Placid, we have a short rally about 2.5 miles, so you can run and just hear how the phone pings. So you start out at the Olympic Center, you make a right, a left, you do a loop around Mirror Lake, and you'll have 3 or 4 checkpoints there that little ping, and it'll say time check, just so you understand how it works. That's the practice rally. Let's make sure the app is working and that you're receiving it correctly on the phone.
Great. Thank you. We are about 90.
Yeah, one more. Where do we get our card numbers? Your card number is what Sign Up Genius is. So
Yes.
we've asked you to go to Sign Up Genius and pick a card number. We started with card 1 up to card number 169. Like Beverly said, about 75% of you have already gotten your card numbers. There's about 25% that have not done that yet. So please go into Sign Up Genius and select the time slot. You may realize that by now, the first 60 or 70 cars are all taken. So the higher numbers are available.
I'll see.
The password for the practice rally will actually be, we'll give it to you at parade check-in. We'll give you the actual practice rally at parade check-in, and the parade check-in password is printed on that rally.
One reason we can't give it to you early, if we gave it to you before you got to Lake Placid, as you're driving into Lake Placid, it might actually trip the app. Because the app will think, oh, you're at a checkpoint, even though it's the day before or something like that. So, hang on a second. Okay. A couple more little maintenance things here. Some other slight problems. We're going to cover this again in the rally school. There are some screen time things in iOS that might allow. You can set it up so if you use an app for more than an hour a day, it stops it. Screen protection things, or it's to keep you from spending too much time watching cat videos or something like that. Make sure you haven't accidentally set that up for the competitor app. Otherwise, after an hour, it'll shut itself down and won't work. It's kind of one of those weird things that happened to somebody a couple of years ago. Same thing on the Android version is called digital well-being. So something you can set up to prevent apps or prevent you from having too much screen time or whatever. You should already know if you have that set up on your device. Real quickly, I want to talk about time allowances. Again, we'll cover this in more depth at the rally school Monday afternoon. Time allowances, as you're driving along the route, you might get delayed by anything. You might get delayed by a train and we're crossing any train tracks. You might get delayed by really slow traffic. You might get delayed by whatever. You may need to pull over and take a quick break. That's fine. To allow for that, you can use what is called the time allowance in the app, where if you pull over for 2.5 minutes, you can add this time into the app and add to your time on the rally without any penalty. Also, if you get turned around, you get kind of lost, and and this is a problem that happened years ago before we kind of moved to this. You can use a time allowance for any reason. The only way you could get back on time, because you were very limited to what you can ask for a time allowance, you had to speed to catch up and get back on time. We do not encourage that. You cannot do that. We don't want you to do that. There's no reason to be speeding on the rally. If you get behind traffic, if you're going too slow, if you need to pull over for any reason, keep track of how late you are and just add this into the device. How you do that is on both versions. There's a plus TA button. Pressing it once adds 15 seconds to your time. And what I'm talking about, your time, it adds it to your time for that leg of the rally. It'll reset to the next one at the next checkpoint. You don't have to worry about it. But for that part of the rally that you're behind on, you press it once, it adds 15 seconds. Press it a second time, it adds 15 more seconds, 30 seconds. Again, press it again, it adds another 15 seconds. And then if you need to add more, if you press it a fourth time, it jumps up to 1 minute and 15. It won't give you an exact minute, because if you did it for an exact minute, in theory, you're now on somebody else's time, because all the cars are, in theory, 1 minute apart. And you can add up time up to, I think it's 18 or 19 minutes. But hopefully you don't have to do that. What we're just saying is, if you get behind, get slowed down, need to pull over and just talk about what's going on, do that, then add the time into the time allowance part, and then take off, and you should be right back on time, as long as you put in the time you were stationary or going slow. There's a -TA button, so if you accidentally put in 5 minutes, 5.5 minutes, you meant 4.5 minutes, you can back that out by using -TA. You can't go to a negative amount, meaning if you're driving fast, you can't take time out of the rally to make yourself go faster. That won't go below 0. So all you can do is add time. Again, we'll cover that in more depth at the rally schools at Parade. Again, the time allowance, it'll show you as you're adding it, how much you've added in there. Can't go 0. I've finished my part. I don't need to have rushed through it, but that took 35 minutes, which I was trying to keep it to about 30 minutes, so we're good. Peter will talk about the rally and the route and give you a little comforting words about how we're going to have you enjoy this event. Peter.
Hey, Tom, can you get rid of your next slide option?
Oh, I didn't know it was there.
Yeah, it's just so that way the full slide is visible. What you actually have there and what to expect on the rally is a physical copy of the rally route. Or Tom, maybe slide over so you see the full.
Hang on. We're working on it here.
Okay, no problem. Just some more questions that came up. There is a marathon going on in Lake Placid on Sunday. By the time you get to check-in, and as you've probably seen, the check-in is in the town about 10 miles away. By the time you get into check-in, actually pick up the rally route, the sample rally route, and get back into Lake Placid, the roads will be open. The sample rally route goes around Mirror Lake, and the Mirror Lake is physically closed between 7:30 and 9. So it's actually on the practice rally. It says, please do not run the practice rally between 7 and 9 on Sunday. But the rally itself, like I said, the practice rally is about 2.5 miles long. It takes maybe 5 minutes to run it because the roads back there are about 25 miles an hour. So it should not be a problem for you to run the practice rally either Monday morning, depending on what else activities you're doing, or on Sunday afternoon. It's just a quick run around the lake. Somebody asked about.
Hey, Peter, can I interrupt for 1 second? Tom,
yes.
So I can tell Tom how to fix this. Tom, go back to presenting the slideshow, and then where you were, where it said, do slideshow from current slide. And then where you were, where it says display settings in the upper left-hand corner, just do duplicate slideshow.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
All right, that's a little bigger. Thank you very much. So they were talking about, this actually answers 2 questions. You have an earlier card. Do you need an accurate working odometer and speedometer? Yes. You do need an accurate speedometer. Some of the older cars, example, I have a 968, and my odometer is only in 5 miles per hour. So I go 5, 10, 15, 20, which is not very easy if I'm trying to tell you to go 37 miles an hour. What is 37 miles an hour on a speedometer like that? You can download a speedometer app. They're allowed in all classes. So a working speedometer app, an app that has a GPS odometer are acceptable in all classes, as long as it doesn't accumulate a calculation of how fast you're going between speed changes. So the simple ones are very accurate. Do not download a Richta or a star version of a rally computer, because that'll put you in class 1, which you will probably not be competitive in. So try to stay in the classes that your car permits you to be if you're running unequipped or seat of pants stock. But you can use a GPS odometer. The rally route was measured using a Porsche Cayenne, using a time run rally computer that measures to the thousandths of a mile, and the odometer was synced to the GPS signal. So the rally is actually paired. Mileage and the CAS are paired to GPS. So if you have a GPS odometer or speedometer app, you should do very well. Again, this is the rally. It starts in Lake Placid. There's a series of restarts. After a restart, we actually have 4 or 5 controls and then another restart. So you don't really go more than 10 or 12 miles without resetting your odometer to 0. So even if your odometer is not that accurate, we don't let it go too far, because I know, like I said, my 968, my odometer is off by 7%, which makes a big difference over 100 miles. It doesn't make very much of a difference over 10 miles. Any questions about that?
Peter, this is Rick.
Hi, Rick.
There's a couple of questions that I see. One didn't get answered. Where a reference was made in the documentation about a Garmin GLO device, and basically the person is asking if this is helpful or needed. They're basically in a pre-2000 car.
Yep. Well, that's right. There are apps for speedometer and odometer apps you can download for free. Do I have a recommended one? There is one called GPS Speedometer. It varies by the name, whether you have Apple or Android, but there's a lot of bicycle apps out there that work very well, and you can just practice, download it, and drive around your block and see if it works. They're not very complicated. They're normally on, off, and they tell you how fast you're driving. And they're allowed. Okay, does that answer that question, Rick?
Yes, in fact, even Don Brown asked about that. What's a recommended app? So that you've answered that, I think. Christine Kenny also asks, how do we know our class?
Okay. If you actually go to the rally page on the parade, there is a download. You can say rally class. Basically, class 1 are those people with fancy rally computers. Class 2 is the individuals who are going to be doing manual calculations one way or the other to see how time you are on. Those are normally people that use, let's say, special rally equipment or apps that will do your calculations every 10th of a mile.
Experienced people.
Yes, experience. And then everybody else is based on the year your car is. So there's 3, 4, and 5. I think 5 is any car older than 2000.
Yes.
Yes.
And the other ones are increments of 5 or 10 years. So you can download it. It's either in the PCR rules, or if you go to the rally page in the parade, you'll see a table that we put up there for your classes.
And that class can also be identified at the check-in process on Sunday.
Yes.
If it's not identified already.
Okay.
That's all I see.
Okay. So that's the rally. The blue, if you can see it, the blue is the first half of the rally, which goes to a small Paul Smith's College Vic Center, which is a small museum, clean restrooms, little gift shop, some snacks, and we have a 25-minute break there to regroup you and also to get you to socialize with each other. And then the rally proceeds back over the back end and up over Whiteface Mountain on the back side of Whiteface Mountain and comes back into town.
You or me. I don't want to interrupt anybody.
Okay.
There's 2 other questions that came in, both regarding class change. And they both ask, can we change our class? And the answer to that is yes, you can do that at check-in. If you know what you're changing it to already, you can contact us and let us know, and that way it's handled already. But we
Send
do
us
allow
an
for
e-
the ability to check in to change your class.
or send us an email if we can get that taken care of beforehand. That's helpful.
Very helpful. It quickens the check-in time.
Especially since we have to check in 169 cars.
Yeah.
Okay, Barbara or Don, do you have a question? I think Don was talking. Was Don just, no, okay. Oh, you want to turn the page, Tom?
So,
Okay, we'll review this again. The rally is very simple. Okay, easy to follow, mileage to every turn, no tricks or traps on the rally, no car breaker roads, the simple break at a local museum, about 25 minutes. Delta miles, so we tell you how far it is between each instruction. So the rally is written where, instruction number 17 is at 13.5 miles and it's 3 miles from the prior instruction. Very simple to read. No tricks, no traps. Matter of fact, there's actually 30 time checkpoints on this rally. And the first four I'll say are their freebies. I tell you exactly where the checkpoints are to the thousandths of a mile, what the sign is, and what your actual arrival time is at those first four checkpoints. So that way you get into the swing of the event. Then as the event goes along, the next dozen or so checkpoints, I tell you what the sign is, but I don't tell you what mileage is at. So I'll say, checkpoint at snowplow ahead sign. So at the first snowplow ahead sign, that'll be a checkpoint. And then the last third of the rally, I hide all the helpers and I say, okay, here's the next section. Go, you're on your own. And the next dozen or so controls will be hidden. So the phone will ping as you go past the control. Okay, so I'll say I wean you into it. Some checkpoints are very quick, less than a minute apart. Other controls, there's actually one that's 19 minutes from the last control. And I actually give you a helper at that point. I actually tell you between the restart and instruction number 92, it should take you 16 minutes to get here. So instead of doing what they do on rallies, which say is a transit zone, I actually tell you when you should leave the instruction before the rally. So I don't want anyone to get really off in that 16-minute section. During that section, near the end of the rally, I actually give you some places you can take a break. There's a candy store, and there's some other places in case you need to use the restroom before you actually get to the last half of the rally. Okay, like I said, the first part of the rally is about an hour long. Then we have about a 25-minute break, and then there's about 90 minutes to the end of the rally. Okay. Great roads, some twisty, some straight. Actually, we have a little mini hill climb at the end with the checkpoint at the top of the hill. Not to surprise you, but where else would I put a checkpoint at the top of a hill?
Okay.
So it should be fun for everybody. Okay. Okay, Tom.
No, it's not Tom, Pete. It's Don Coburn.
No, I was saying to Tom to change the slide. Go ahead, Don. What's up, sir?
First off, Barbara and I can't thank you guys enough for all you've done. As you know, the old man was our mentor. We're looking forward to running the rally. And if anybody wants to know some really, really good TED stories, like how about the 86 parade coming home with his blown motor on his Volkswagen bus and me with an Audi 5000 with no brakes from Kittery, Maine to Belmore, New York. I got lots of TED stories for you guys. I look forward to seeing everybody at the parade.
Back, Don, just so you know, there was actually a sign on Ted's rally from 1994 that the sign is still there, and I referenced it on the rally. So
Bob and I didn't get caught in the off course.
No, there's no traps on this rally. Very simple. There are three types of restarts.
You're sucking us in.
No,
Don't
I'm not.
do it.
No, I'm not. Dude, come on, Don. Let me finish up so people can go to bed. It's almost 10 o'clock my time. There's two restarts they call a car zero time, that's at the start of the rally. So everyone leaves at 8 o'clock plus your car number. So if you're car number 9, you would leave at 8:09. The second one of those is at the rest break, which is at 9 after 9:45. So if you're car number 7, you would leave at 9:45 plus 7. That would be whatever that math is that 9:52? That would be your out time for that checkpoint. The other checkpoints, there's what we call top of the minute restarts. Those are in between these sections where you roll up to a instruction, and the instructions will say top of the minute restart at stop sign. And the idea here is you pull up, you wait to the top of the next minute, and you leave. It's that simple. If there's 2 cars ahead of you, car 1 will go. A minute later, the second car will go, and then you will go. Okay, that's to pace you out because you're supposed to be a minute apart. Okay. And the next type of restarts are what they call flying restarts, which are done automatically. So when you get to checkpoint 7, as you pass that control, it'll ping, it'll give you your score, and your next leg starts immediately. Okay, nothing for you to do. It's called timing line to timing line restarts, and that's how Porsche runs their Porsche parade. Okay, I do ask you when you get to a top of the minute restart, please write down in your side of your rally the time you left, just in case your phone doesn't ping. What should happen is about 1/10 of a mile after a top of the minute restart, your phone will ping and it'll say restart 10:45. It'll be your restart time, and that should be the time you left that restart point. Okay? It is really simple. Okay, Tom,
This
next.
is Rick again. There's a question that came in from Zoe. Says, are you sharing this brief with everyone?
Yes, this slide presentation is up on the website. It's there both in PowerPoint and in a PDF. And this is the same brief that we're going to go over on the Monday rally schools. This is an abbreviated one. There's actually about 10, 12 pages before the Richta presentation that we talk more about rallying in general, but we shortened that to make sure we accommodate everyone's questions tonight. All the slides you see here will be the same slides people will see on Monday, and the same slides that are up on the website. Hope that answers your question. Someone gave us a thumbs up, so they're all there.
Yeah, this is being recorded also, and we'll have it posted.
Okay. What to bring, make sure you bring your parade badges. You don't get no stinking badges, you don't get no rally route. That's to make sure that you've signed the waivers, because you'll sign insurance waivers at check-in on Sunday or late check-in on Monday. Okay, make sure you know your Richta car number. That's the number you get assigned when you do Sign Up Genius. You will also get, with a copy of the practice rally, a piece of paper on check-in that'll tell you your car number. It'll tell you what time you pick up your rally route and what time you leave the start at the Historic Society. Okay. Pencil, paper, and highlighters, a clipboard. A clipboard is good, or is there anything you could write on? Because the rally is actually 11 pages. We are all getting old. So the rally is a lot of pages because it's nice big font print. You could probably read the rally from the back seat. I actually have it color coded, so I have cautions in red and anything I can think of to make the rally easy for people. That's what I do. That's what I do locally. So that's what I'm going to do for the National Rally Program. Very simple to read. Make sure your phone and tablet, that the Richta app is downloaded. Again, turn off Bluetooth. Some cars will try to connect your phone to your car. If it does that, it will not sound off the app. So you have to make sure Bluetooth is turned off. Turn off notification of other apps. You should only be running one app on the phone. Charge your car, charger in your car. Normally, unless you have a very, very old phone, your charge should last 3.5 hours. But if you do plug it in, make sure you have a charge. A device holder is helpful. Of course, for those of us who are hair challenged, make sure you have a hat if you're running in a convertible. And we'll give you water at the start. Any other questions? Oh, are there winners per class? Yes. there's 5 classes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have first and second, and probably third in every class. We have enough cars, I believe, Tom, for first, second, and third in every class.
Yes.
And some classes, there's a whole formula. Actually, I think one of the classes, we have 71 cars in one of the classes, and we have to give out a certain percentage of trophies. So I think we go, what, Tom, 10 deep in one of the classes?
10 to 12 deep. Yeah, in that class.
Yeah. So there's
So,
lots of trophies.
so basically a third of the entrance, maybe not a third, 25%. I don't know. Anyway, there is a formula.
And that formula is public. If you want to go into the Porsche Parade PCR document, actually, there's a formula there for that. Okay, I think there's one more slide.
Okay.
Okay. We talked about time allowances. The important thing about time allowances, we don't want you to speed. If for some reason, I have mileage to every single turn. If for some reason you miss a turn, you come back, you go, oh my God, I was 4 minutes off course. So just go into the app, hit the TA plus sign till it says 4 minutes and 15 seconds, and just go. So the idea is we don't want you to be penalized if you get a flat, if you go off course, if you want to stop for the chocolate store at the end, and you want to use the restroom, if you can't wait 90 minutes between breaks, then just take a time allowance. It's that simple. No penalty for it. Very simple. The rally is easy. I'll be there on check-in on Sunday. I'll be there Monday for the rally school. Tom and I will both be there on Tuesday for the rally. Tom is working the starting line. I'm working inside to make sure you have all the apps on your phone correct. There is nothing difficult in the rally. Be careful about seeing other cars on the route. They may not even be on the rally. You know, this rally is being run the same time some of the treks are run. So there might be a group of cars that'll pass you in the rally route or going in the opposite direction that are going on one of these treks to the Wilderness Center. Or, you know, on the way back, you may see people coming back from Lake Ticonderoga, Fort Ticonderoga. Don't be confused by following someone that is not on the rally. Okay? Never give up. The rally is really simple. It's fun. It's designed to make sure that you don't get lost. Speeds are all within 1 or 2 miles from the posted speed limit. So if the road is a CAS 55 or speed limit 55, I have you doing maybe 52 or 53 because of the curves in the road. One thing you may not know is that New York State has a state speed limit of 55. And on one of the roads, I have you doing 34 because that's as fast as I think you should drive that road, you know, safe. And the actual speed limit on that road is 55 miles an hour because it's not posted. So I tried to post the speeds for the cast of the rally to be equivalent to what an average person should drive. This is not a race. This is not a pro rally. If you want to do high-speed events, go to a DE event and have fun. We do share the roads with locals. Okay, Tom, next. A sense of humor. Dip ahead, bring chips. And that does not stand for the California Highway Patrol. So there are dips on the rally. I do note them. We wrote the rally last September. We went back in April, and there were some frost heaves and some dips, and I noted them all on the rally, and I tried to give you a warning on that. So just be careful. This is not a car breaker rally. There's no dirt. There's no gravel. There's no unpaved. Simple event.
Ted's proud of the photo.
Our goal is to make sure you have a good time and you get to the finish and you say to us, I had a great time. If you do that, we did our job.
That's a Ted rally.
Yeah. If you look at the back of my picture, or the front rally page, all the signs behind me are taken from along the route. I will almost guarantee that you'll see 2 moose. They're the black and yellow variety, but you do pass 2 moose signs. You'll have a very good picture of the ski jump as you come down River Road at the end. You'll be able to see the ski jumps off in the distance. It's very, very pretty rally.
Hey, thank you all for joining us. We look forward to seeing you at Lake Placid. Again, we'll most likely see you at check-in on Sunday and at the Valley Schools on Monday. We're there to answer your questions, help set up your app. Again, we do this because we love it and we want you to have a good time. So we're looking forward to seeing you all in Lake Placid. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Great.